Certainly hope you're enjoying the late movie. Oh, get you. I had something on my mind, and I forgot what. Did you ever do that?
Sure, often.
Have something. I just was going to say something, and it drew an absolute blank.
You are holding a piece of a magazine. Does that have anything to do with it?
No, that has nothing to do with it. No, that's something I want to talk to Doris Day about.
Oh.
Did you have dry skin? Doris Day's got, I read this in Time magazine this week about what she does for her dry skin. Sounds fascinating.
What is it?
Well, I'll read it before I bring Doris out. Suffering from dry skin, it's Time magazine. Maybe a wrinkle or two. Consider the remedy used by actress Doris Day. One night a week, she says, I make it a practice to cover my entire body, forehead to toes, with Vaseline. She revealed that in her book.
Right.
There's her new book right here called Her Own Story, written in collaboration with a fine author, A.E. Hotchner. And she covers, then she puts on a lightweight nightgown, flannel nightgown, and sleeps like that. She says it does pose some problems if you're sleeping with a man, husband, or otherwise. Doris Day wouldn't do that.
No, not Doris. Golly gee.
You are not a very appetizing number in this condition. I don't know, it sounds kind of...
Covered with Vaseline.
Ooh. Cool whip, but Vaseline.
Vaseline.
Anyway, would you welcome... It's a good book. Honest, and she tells it about herself. Would you welcome Miss Doris Day?
Hello there.
What were you saying about me while I was dressing?
I said I was reading. Hi, guys. I was reading, you know, that little excerpt that Time magazine had about... You've got some tips in the back because you get letters from women all the time, as any stars do in motion pictures, about clothing and makeup and dress and so forth. And you have in the back of the book some few little tips on
the
how
Vaseline?
Yeah, about covering your bod with Vaseline.
It's very good.
Jumping between the sheets. What does that do for you?
You wear a flannel nightgown.
I know what it do for me, but...
It's absolutely marvelous.
Really?
Yeah, it really is. It's very good, ladies.
What, don't you move around a lot?
You slide around, you slide out of bed, is what you do. Yeah. No, but it's very good for your skin.
Well, I shouldn't ask you that.
It's nice to be here, John.
Thank you. Can two people do that? I mean, is that better? Wouldn't that be better for
Two
both
people,
person's skin?
If you're married, you should both put it on.
But you came out now. This is interesting. You've been known as a very private individual most of your life. You haven't given a lot of interviews, and there have been all kinds of stories in magazines about you. Now, all of a sudden, you come out in a book and say, hey, I'm going to tell you all about me. How come all of a sudden?
Oh, you really want to know?
Sure.
Well, Jacqueline Suzanne, who was my very good friend, when she got to know me, she said, I think that, you know, with all that's happened to you, you're very good-humored and cheerful and happy, and I can't understand how you could be that way. And the more we talked about it, she said, you really should put it down in a book. And I think it could be a good influence.
Right.
And that is the only reason, really. One other thing may be that I was always, you know, the image has been so boring. You know, the virgin and the goody two-shoes and all the nonsense, which is, you know, it's not human. And I wanted to straighten the record. And
Oscar Levant's remark has been quoted over and over again, and probably
virgin.
until you're almost sick of it, but it was a funny remark. He was a funny man. And he said, I knew Doris Day before
she was a virgin.
She was a virgin.
Yeah.
I mean, that's funny.
It's funny. It's funny. But, you know, in my films, I don't know how that happened, where it came from, because I was married in most of my films, had children in most of my films, and if you can be a virgin and do that.
That's remarkable.
I mean,
remarkable.
How do you work that out?
Do you think it's maybe because of the sexual farce type of comedy, you know, you played where it was kind of played coy, maybe
Yeah,
that kind of...
I suppose. Yeah. Everything was left to the imagination. They were a little bit sexy. Yeah. The comedies with Rock Hudson and Jimmy Garner.
That was very, when that Pillow Talk, for example, was made, and you had the scene with the feet in bathtubs and the feet were up against footsies. That was very daring, wasn't it?
It was then. Now it's boring.
Oh, yeah.
I guess. I don't know.
Have you seen some of the things that they put out nowadays?
Not many.
Really?
No, I really haven't. I don't dig it.
Well, are you intrigued by it just to see it so you'll know what it's about? I go only
Oh,
because...
is that a cop?
No, no.
Oh, I love it.
Research, part of
I
it's
don't
research.
care about it, but I just want to
feel-
see what's going on.
No, see, I see...
Is
I
that what
feel,
you said?
No, what I said was, I feel that if I have to sit here and talk to somebody about those kind of pictures, if I haven't seen one, I really can't express an opinion. So
You have
I
to
go
use
to
it in
see
your work.
those. I have to use it in, I have to go see some of those pictures. And I could not believe some of them.
Really?
I went back to see it again. And I still, no, I agree with you. I agree with you. I think most of them, and what I'm talking about are what they call hardcore versus softcore pornography. That most of the hardcore pornography are dull and they're boring.
Yes.
That's true. They really are. Now,
Now,
on the other hand, if you have a beautiful film, which is called softcore, and it's beautifully done with attractive people, and it is not just obvious, it can be a well-done film, and...
name one that I should see.
I thought Emmanuel was kind of a pretty picture.
Really?
Yeah,
I'll
I
see
didn't
it.
think it was... I thought it was a rather interesting picture. I'm not plugging the picture. I don't even know
And
who
is
made
it,
it, where it came from.
is it porno?
No, I wouldn't say that was a pornographic film.
No?
It has an X rating because people make love. But
Well, do
by
you
that
like
rating,
to watch that?
What?
People No, people making love. Do you really like to watch other people making love?
No, I didn't say that.
John, wait a
You
minute,
must
John.
understand,
John,
you as
can
the
tell me.
guestee, I as the host. Well, now let me put it this way. I think there is a little voyeurism in everyone to a certain extent, if you are very, very honest about it. There is an intriguing thing. No, I don't go around looking in windows at night, you know, or have any kind of hang-ups. I'm only saying that I think if you're normally sexually healthy, that something well done, beautifully done with attractive people can be erotic to a certain extent.
What
Now,
does
you
it
don't
do for you?
Makes me horny.
Now, look. John,
Now, you know that
To
word.
say that in
Now, let me
front of-
check that in the back.
that word is not in my book.
You don't use that word horny in your book at all?
I don't think so.
You know what it means.
Yes, I do.
It's not a dirty word.
Isn't it?
No. Horny came from the fact that animals in the spring grow new little
Horns?
horns. It has nothing to do with the word. That's right.
Well, I'm
That's where
glad
it
you
came
straightened
from.
that out.
That's right.
Yeah.
Means that they are ready to engage in the rites of spring. To sow, to plant the field, to till the furrow.
Yeah.
Someday there'll be a church here, and we're going to raise our children.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have to take a break, and we'll
We
come
do?
back, and we'll get back on some other subject.
Oh, no.
Yes, we will.
I've got you tonight.
I'm
You get it?
certainly hope
Yeah,
so.
I know what you've been saying.
What have I been
That
saying?
I'm a swinger and a quiet swinger and all
No,
those
I
things.
didn't say
I've
you were a
heard.
quiet swinger.
Ah, yes, you did.
I did a joke about that que sera probably meant all these years that your pad or mine. That's all I said.
I'm making little eyes at you.
Little eyes, huh?
Yeah, that's trouble.
Was that trouble? Okay, we'll be back for more trouble in just a moment. We're back.
Oh, let's
and
hear more.
Isn't that good?
That's good. That's really good.
Yeah. You ever get a yearning to relive those kind of days again when you were singing with a band
No.
and traveling and getting up? And,
No.
Really?
Oh. Right, Zito? We have been on many a bus together, as Mr. DeWolf would say.
Yes,
many a
times.
bus.
You had fun, though. I mean, in a
We did
way.
not.
Really? No fun at all?
No,
Was there a
at
certain
the
camaraderie?
when you're very young and just traveling all the time, it's not that much fun. It's nice to look back on,
Yeah.
you know, when you reflect back.
Yeah. Was this book, when you write an autobiography and have to call all these things out of your mind, is it kind of like going through analysis at all?
That's what I hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have not been through analysis.
Yeah. Well, either have I, so I don't know.
But that's what I've heard. And some days were really emotional
Yeah.
for me. Yeah, terribly.
In other words, you didn't want to relive or answer questions about certain facets of your
Well,
life and so forth?
when you start, you know, talking and you're going to tell all, you relive it.
Right.
Yeah, and there were, you know, many, many sad times in my life.
Yeah.
And to go back over that, It was
Remember when you
hard.
first came out here, you made a screen test. I remember in the book, the Jack Carson had called you and said he'd seen a test and you didn't believe it was him. And
Oh, yeah, he said, this is Jack Carson. I was
Yeah.
at the Hollywood Plaza, living there and ready to leave town. I had my tickets, and I had made the test.
Right.
And the phone rang, and he said, this is Jack Carson. And I said, oh, yeah. You know, come on, I thought it was my agent. And he said, no, it really is, and I saw your test, and I just want you to know that I am positive that you have the part. I still didn't believe it, but yet it sounded like Jack. And sure enough, it was. He was a lovely man.
But you didn't really want to come out here and be a motion picture star particularly, did you?
No?
Which is strange because most young ladies would say, Hollywood, the time, you know, the glamour and so forth. But
Yeah, well...
why didn't that appeal to you?
I don't know, Johnny. I've never been that career-minded, you know? No.
You want to talk
I just
about...
wanted to get married and settle down and look after my husband. I'd rather the husband is the star. I would rather have it that way.
No,
Yeah.
man, the marriage, just as you say in the book, you talk about it, was disappointing. It has not worked.
Yeah, it
Most of them
hasn't.
did not work up to
No.
this point, right?
Haven't stopped working since I'm 16.
Really?
No.
Were you married at 16, 17, weren't you?
17. Mm-hmm.
That was a musician? Was it not?
Of course. I didn't
Well, there are
meet
other
anybody
people in the
else.
world, you know, besides...
No, but I was with musicians all the time. I married 2 musicians. And Marty.
Marty,
My agent.
Melcher, your agent.
So, yeah.
Musicians, do they make... Well, nothing personal, guys, but... Would you ever marry another musician?
Do I know? What do I... You know, I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow.
Don't you really kind of...
I really don't know. I might marry another musician. I mean, who can tell? That would be funny. Wouldn't that be interesting? No, I may not marry again ever.
Really?
No.
No,
3
lots
times,
of people have said
and you're
that.
out. Isn't that the way it goes? No, it's...
I hope not. This is 3 for me.
3 for you?
Well, I'm on...
Well, you're fine.
I'm on this... Well, I don't get into it because it's not particularly proud of it, but this is my 3rd marriage.
I know, you can't... It isn't something to be proud of, but that's the way it is. And it's nothing horrendous. I lived and I learned from all
I
those
did, too.
experiences. It's great. It's...
Boy, did I learn.
So did I. So did I.
Learn. Some learning I got. No, I shouldn't
Yeah.
say things like that. I really have no bitterness.
No, but it's really good, and I'm not bitter either. And I wouldn't change one thing. Really would not.
But if tomorrow, out of the sunset, I'm getting dramatic.
Across a crowded room.
Yes. Yeah, for example, have you met somebody where that's happened? You look across a crowded room and you say, hey, first impressions, are they important?
Yes, but it doesn't usually happen to me that way.
It doesn't?
Mm-mm.
Really have to know
I like to
someone.
really get to know someone.
How do you
But,
do
you
that?
know, having been married 3 times, it's obvious that I did not know them. You always think you know them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How would you get to know somebody?
Oh, well, I must tell you, my first husband was a musician traveling.
Right.
And so we had a correspondence courtship. And the love letters that came, and went back and forth, it was tremendous. It was beautiful. And my family, they all loved him. And I married him, and it was the worst. The worst. Because I did not know him.
Just from the letters?
Yeah, I really think that you have to live with someone
Now,
for
you
a
mentioned
while
that, which
and,
is a
and,
rather...
and get to know that person, and then, you know, you say, hey, I really like you. And I love you.
Have you gotten any flack from saying that statement?
I don't
You know,
care
I think you
about
should
the
live
flack.
with
A lot of
somebody-
people, pardon me, I didn't mean to talk when you were talking.
Oh, no, that's all right. Don't be silly. No, but you know that a lot of people say, you saying that statement, which has been quoted all over, that you think somebody should live together before they're married, a lot of people would say, it's not right, but you don't care. I mean, that's what you
Well,
would
if
do.
that's the way they feel about it, that's fine. But I think it's terribly important to get to know someone. And you don't know that person until you live with him.
That is for
And
sure.
it's the truth. Now, let's face it, gang.
Can you stay with us for a little while?
Sure.
Stay with us. Okay. We're going to take a small
I'm
break.
having a good time.
So am I. We'll be right back. Okay, so whatever will be. See, I, on the other hand, have the fantasy of traveling and being able to play like Louis Bellson.
You're a frustrated drummer.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
go out and
You will
travel.
never play like Louis Bellson.
I know that. That's what I said. It's a it's a fantasy, or Eddie Shaughnessy, or Buddy Rich, or anything. I think that would be fun, and you say it's no fun at all.
What, traveling with the band?
Yeah.
Now it would be fun.
Aha.
Yeah,
mean, if somebody
now
came
it would
to you
be fun. I was
tomorrow-
too dumb then to know what I was doing.
There's bands that are still traveling and going out on dates now. If they came to you and said, hey, Doris, you want to hit the road?
No,
You wouldn't go?
no.
Really
I
wouldn't?
like to hit the road, but, you know, at my own convenience.
Yeah.
And when I want to hit the road. I
Where-
love to travel.
Where do you go? By yourself? Just get up and
That's rather
head out for
personal.
something? What?
That's rather personal.
Well, so's the book rather personal.
I didn't talk
I'm
about
sounding
what I
like
do.
Leonard Spivak on Meet the Press. You can ask me any personal questions you want to. I don't care. My life is completely open.
Had I known that,
You can ask me anything.
I would have thought about it.
You see.
No, I like to drive across country and drive wherever I go. I really love it. Stop when I feel like stopping. It's neat.
But isn't that a problem with being well known? That people bug you and come up, or
Sure.
you put on a little hat or something and hide out?
Yeah. Put sunglasses on, a little hat.
Yeah.
There you go. I like Carmel.
Yeah. That's
Oh,
right.
I love Carmel. Somebody
But
else
that's-
likes
that's
Carmel. A
beautiful
lot of
place.
people like Carmel.
If you had it to do all over again, you said you wouldn't change anything, or you would?
No, I wouldn't want to do it all over again. But I wouldn't change anything in my life.
Really?
No, it's been great. The experiences have taught me so much, John, as
Yeah.
yours have.
Oh, yes.
And I think that I've learned a great deal, and I'm a very happy lady now.
Are you?
Oh, yeah. I have a good time. Love my life. And I don't care about working.
Right.
I don't need it. I just don't, I don't feel frustrated about it.
Don't you get the urge sometimes to be in front of an audience and
I am.
sing? Well,
I'm right here.
No, but I'm as a performer and maybe sing a little bit.
No.
I mean, there's no way you'd ever come on this show.
And see?
mean, there's-
Thank you. That's very sweet.
Because you're a
That's
super singer.
nice.
There's nothing I could do to persuade you or say to you that would even make you consider coming on the show some night and doing a song.
Well, if I'm in shape, you see.
You're in shape.
I'll do
Well,
it.
you're in shape.
I'm in shape.
You're in shape, Doris. Well, you're in
Yeah,
shape.
I'm in shape.
You vocalize around the house?
I don't sing that much around the house, and I don't play piano. If I could play piano, I would sing all the time because I love to sing. But to have to call a pianist to come in, make the appointment, and then warble, for a couple of hours every day, I don't do that. And so consequently, I get a little bit rusty. So that when I did my special,
Right.
I had a pianist, and I worked for about a month,
Yeah.
and then I was in shape, and I felt great.
We'll send a piano player to your house over, every couple of days for about a month if you'll come back and sing. Now, how's that?
Okay.
Did you hear that, Fred?
He's willing to hang around over there as much as you want him to.
Okay.
He'll hang around.
Ross, what time you get up in the morning, Ross?
About 7:30 tonight would be perfect.
Ross is a little pushy. I don't think
Okay,
he's our
Ross.
man. Ross is too anxious for the job. You got to play hard to get, Ross. Hey, I thank you
What?
for coming tonight. I hold up the book. There it is right there. It's put out by Morrow Company. Doris
Morrow?
Day, her own story, in collaboration with A.E.
Hotchner,
right?
do you know his work at all?
I-
Did you read Papa Hemingway?
Yes.
He's
He's a fine-
really
he's a fine
a
writer.
superb writer.
I hope
And,
it's is it doing well?
Yes, it really is.
You inscribed it for me, and I won't. Well, I won't. I won't read it because
What's
it's
it say?
it's rather personal. Rather
Let me see,
personal.
I'll read it.
No, it's rather personal.
Say, a friend of mine is coming out next. I think Rex is coming out.
Rex Reed is with us tonight. Yeah. You want to stay while Rex is here?
I will stay while Rex is here. He's
gonna
a
do- we're
very,
gonna
very
do-
dear friend of mine.
We're going to do the Mighty Carson Art Players, the interview with some questions of the day.
Is it good? I mean, is it worth staying
What was that
for?
question again? Of course it's worth staying for. There's a chuckle a minute.
Okay,
Yeah.
you promise.
You stay, and then we'll do this first. We'll see if it's worth staying up for.
Okay.
Let's see, now you got me thinking. Well, I'm going to set it up, Fred. I'm working into it right now. I have to take my own timing and have certain segues. Time for the setup, now. We don't fool around. We have a question of the day about who people would like to see as the next president of the United States, and we have a mobile unit standing by. And I have to leave with the mobile unit, but we'll be back in just 4 or 5 minutes, okay?
Okay.
And we will talk to some average citizens on the street. Is that a big enough setup?
That's a setup.
That will be right after this commercial. That was the setup you just heard. Then we do the interview. And the members of our little stock company there, people who worked in our news there, the housewife was Suzanne Peretz, and David Doyle was the heart. He had an old friend of mine from Nebraska, and our resident hippie is Bill Saluga.
They were great.
All right, thank you.
Really good.
So, good night. Rex Reed is here. How do you get along with Rex Reed?
Oh, I love Rex.
Well,
He's
a lot
good
of
friend of mine.
he's rapped a lot of performers. He's one of the brightest and most outspoken writers on the entertainment scene today. Would you welcome Mr. Rex Reed? Bum bum ba-dum. How are you?
Kisses, too.
She kisses.
Yeah, she does.
All of those things.
She's absolutely real.
That's right. Didn't you know that
I think
all
people
along?
for years thought Doris Day didn't go to the bathroom. I mean, she's real. She's a...
This is a really dirty show tonight. I tell you.
I tell you something, I read the book. And I think the one thing that people keep forgetting to mention is the fact that this is a book that really has something to say to people out there who are not stars and who are not famous and who may never be famous. I mean, it has something to teach to people because everybody feels, I'm sure, from time to time. I sound like I'm doing a review of the book. I don't mean to. I really was very moved by it.
You called and told me that.
I did.
So it's all true.
I felt very touched by this book because I felt that all of us had similar things happen to us in our lives. We've all felt victimized at one time or another by a tax collector, by a lawsuit, by a bad marriage, by an unruly family situation, by a cop, by, you know, something has happened to everybody. And yet this lady has had terrible things happen to her, and she has no self-pity, not a trace of self-pity. And if you get all the way through the book and not just look for the juicy things, you will learn from this book how to survive. And I think that's the only thing that's important in life is how to survive.
How to survive.
That's it. That's it.
That's what you were writing about.
Right. Do you know what? May I say something?
Of course.
Because I've talked a lot, and it's your turn. But Hotchner, at a press conference in New York, said that. He called me a survivor. And I think that is what it's, you know, to sum it up, it's exactly that.
If you can
and we can all
survive,
be,
if
and
you
we
can
can all
survive
be.
in today's world of what's
Well,
going on,
you know,
and
if
keep
you
your
want
head.
to hit the hot spots in the book and go down the list of the things that people will want to buy it for, yes, there are awful things in it. I mean, a first marriage to a man who was very sadistic, a second marriage to a man who left her because he went into a religious phase in his life that didn't have room to include her. A third marriage to a man who it still is uncertain to this day whether or not he stole a lot of her money. An unhappy childhood, an early realization that there were ugly things in the world when she discovered that her own father was having an affair with another woman and her mother didn't know it, and a lot of things that could have been very traumatic. But that's not really the reason why this book is important, I don't think. I think the reason it's important is because it has something to say to every person who feels like there's a possibility he or she might become one of the suicide statistics. I mean, we could all become part of the statistics at one time or another. There's never a life, I don't think, in which it doesn't occur to somebody that I just can't go on. I
Yeah.
can't.
Does that ever happen to you, where you get to a point of depression?
Just
Anxiety?
about every 10 minutes.
everyone.
During a regular day.
Oh, Rex, no. You know what you have to have? A round bottom. I mean it. No, don't laugh. I have to explain that. I have to explain that. You know the little dolls that have round bottoms, and you knock them down, and they bounce back again? You
I know
just
what you mean.
can't keep them down, right? Okay, that's
So
what
you
you
need
have
a
to
round
have, a
bottom.
round bottom. And I've got one.
Well, I
That's a good
tell you, a
analogy.
lot of people have paid thousands and thousands of dollars to go into analysis to find out how they can function every day and how they can get up every morning and how they can go to bed at night and not want to kill themselves because they're so unhappy and because somebody has victimized them in some way. And if ever there was a victim of other people, it's Doris. And yet, there is a unique ability there to bounce back. People have punched her and she's fallen down and she's gotten right back up again. She's like a cat. Throw her off the top of a fridge and she'll land on her feet.
That's a good analogy.
It's a very interesting book. I tell you, I really recommend it for that reason. The only thing that I don't like about it is the fact that...
You have to say that.
The only thing, not about the book, but about your life, and that is that you have never And if there are any serious, pretentious critics watching who say, well, there goes Rex Reed's career, the hell with it, I don't care, because I really mean this. I don't think you have ever realized how important your talent has been. I don't think you have... You have never really enjoyed these films that I grew up loving and still love, and I want to tell you right now, every time I've set the alarm for 4 a.m. to watch April in Paris and Romance on the High Seas. I
You would not.
have.
Ah!
These are such fun movies, and at a time when there is so little to cheer about in life. These are...
Excuse me.
Oh, excuse me.
No, I'm sorry. Want to get me a cab?
Go right on with the show,
Oh, John.
No, I'm teasing.
Go right on with the show.
You're a big
It's
fan, and
all
I
right.
think that's nice of you to say things like
You know,
that
I'm
when
not
you
a
meet
fan
them.
of many people, really, and I'm not embarrassed to say that. I'm a great fan of hers. I really am. I'm glad to be on the same show because I wanted to tell her that, and it's embarrassing
never
to
told
tell
me
you
that.
that.
Well, I guess
That's
Brandon.
really nice.
You know, we have so little fun in our lives, and those movies were fun.
Yeah.
They really were, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing to be ashamed of, and you shouldn't be ashamed either of having had the career you've had because you brought a lot of joy to a lot of people.
Well, that's the most important thing, but I really do feel that, you know, I'd like to do them all over again. I'd like to remake them.
Really, what would you change? In what way?
Oh, the script. Oh, my dear.
That's quite a big
Oh,
change.
you know,
They weren't
the
always
scripts, they were
strong.
trite. But I guess maybe, you know, it's fantasy world, and maybe
course.
people need that. I think we really need it now. I do. I think we need,
That's why
you
they
know,
say all of the
to get away
disaster
from
films are,
the humdrum and go to the movies and see something that maybe is not as real as it should be. But that might be good. What are they doing?
The band is trying
That's
to send us a
rude.
message.
That is rude,
Thank you, the
John.
Mitchell Boys Choir. Check is on the truck.
This is a rude show.
Well,
Who's doing?
that's what's kept us going all these
Oh.
years. We're rude,
Stay
and
with
we're going to do
us.
the commercial